Draconans themselves did not evolve as a life form in our universe. They were dumped here. They were brought here because they're just a pain. They're incredibly smart, they're incredibly psychic, they're incredible builders, but they're bullies. Their whole thing is control, domination. And because there's no race in our universe that can really beat them up and wipe them out, they don't have to choose light or dark. They're just where they are. And they've chosen the opposite polarity. They're a tough bunch. They've manipulated a lot of civilizations throughout our galaxy. They're also responsible for the 600,000-year war, which almost annihilated the human species in our galaxy.
Races originally colonized the Earth, the first race being the reptilians from Alpha Draconis. What was the nature of their colony?
Well, they're hyperborean. Basically, they're explorers. And they're also genetic engineers. They would just colonize. They would take samples. They would hang a flag and say, this belongs to us, just like we did with the moon. You know, except we weren't the first ones there. Exactly what we've done. They were explorers. And they would just go to a place, they would see what was there, they would explore it. If there were minerals that they needed, if there were other life forms, organisms, whatever it was that they needed, they took, and then when it was done, they had enough, they moved on, and just kept exploring and expanding their realm of exploration or territory. Originally they were dumped in Alpha Draconis. Nobody knows exactly where they came from, and my understanding is that even in their ancient history, they don't know exactly where they came from. But they were left in Alpha Draconis because that particular system offered them the highest probability of survival. And from there, they were able to create craft, space travel. I mean, they're magnificent in what they did, and they're to be commended for what they did. But the fact that they need to control and dominate and manipulate to the degree, sorry, I have a problem with that. And so does half of the other of the galaxy. That's just the way they are. They're the biggest bully. Nobody can beat them up or wipe them out, so therefore they have no motivation to change. So that's the space they hold. And, you know, the Andromedans actually consider them the ultimate warriors, which says a lot, you know, for whatever reason.
The Andromedans tell you that the Alpha Draconis are here now. Where?
There are 1,833 of them that have been living underground between 100 and 200 miles beneath the surface. They've been here, some of them have been here a long, long time. They have lifespans for thousands of years. They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
When you say carnivorous, they eat humans?
Yes. And they won't eat dead humans, has to be alive at the time of the kill. Their preference is children. You know, and we've been told, you shouldn't talk about that. You know, there are other people say, well, you better not talk about the reptilians. Well, you know, you know, but why not? According to the Andromedans, they're responsible for 31,712 children disappearing in the last 25 years from the United States. These children were food. And I'm supposed to just shut up and not say anything about it because people don't want to hear it? That's power.
Aside from carnivorous aspect to the Alpha Draconis, why else are they dangerous to humans?
Because they don't like us.
And what are they willing to do?
Eat us. There's no need for us. I mean, look at where we are. Look at us right now as a civilization, as a society. Okay? They don't need anything. They have all this technology that they want. We can't really offer them except maybe do some work for them. But they don't need all of us to work for them. They don't respect human life in any way whatsoever. And this goes back to Lyra, to where the original war started.
What are the physical characteristics of the Alpha Draconis? What do they look like?
I don't have it. Maybe it's not perfect. They're ugly. I mean, they think we're ugly, too. You know, I guess it's all a matter of perspective and belief system. In my belief system, and I'm only taking responsibility for me. They're ugly. They're anywhere from 7 to 22 feet tall. They can weigh up to 1,800 pounds. They're reptilian. The longer, the ones that have stubby tails, if you see one that has no tail, these are the warrior class, or the worker class. The longer the tail, the higher their rank. When you see one with long tails, with winged appendages, he's considered royalty. Whenever you see one, you ought to just run like it. You shouldn't approach it. You shouldn't provoke it. Just get the hell out of its way. Just get out of its way. Just run. There is a way to kill them. If you can't cut off their head, they have two hearts. There's one here, underneath this arm pit, and one here. Or if you can't get to that area and you need to slow it down, you need to hit it right above its groin area. It has a very large liver. You need to move it there to slow it down. It's not something where man-to-man combat you're going to be able to deal with, because they apparently have a strength of 12, 15 men. They're incredibly quick. They're incredibly psychic. They know what you're going to do before you do it. If they get here en masse, we got real problems.
The race from Alpha Draconis. The race is probably the most misunderstood. I have witnessed a deep respect for this race, which is generated out of admiration and fear. The Draconans are the oldest reptilian race in our universe. Their forefathers, somewhere in our most ancient past, came to our universe from another separate universe and/or reality. When this actually occurred, no one really knows. The Council of 11 have said that the Draconans themselves aren't clear how or when they themselves got here, but what is interesting is that they declare and teach to the masses that they were in this universe first, before humans beings, and that they are the true heirs to this universe and, as such, are all royalty. Most, if not all, human races don't recognize this claim as truth, but, nonetheless, they don't debate the issue with them either. Alpha Draconans have colonized many star systems and have created many races by genetically altering the life forms that they encountered. The most densely populated area of subraces of Draconans is the constellation of Orion, Rigel, and the star system known as Capella. Here lies a very dangerous part of the universe for human beings. The mindset or consciousness of the majority of the races in this region is service to self, and as such they are always subverting, invading and manipulating less advanced races using their technology for control and domination. This is a very old and ancient war with the peace that does exist always being tested by these beings that believe that fear rules and love is weak, that the less fortunate are meant to be slaves. This belief system is created at birth, and the reptilian race as the mother, at the time of birth, will hide the young and then abandon them to fend for themselves. Most of the time they are cared for by the warrior class that uses the children for games of combat and amusements. They believe that in their ways that if the young ones survive they were meant to, and in the process they have had to fight all the way, and at a young age they are full warriors, used to depending on no one. Alpha Draconans are very suspicious of all life forms including their own, but not of course to the extent that they would be of humans. They are taught that Draconan history of the Great Galactic War. The version or opinion that the humans were at fault for the invasion of the universe and how we selfishly wanted the Draconan race to starve and struggle for the basic materials for their society to exist. Therefore they are brainwashed at a young age, just like we humans have done to our younger generations by all human races in the galaxy.